zombies and Nazis in Queens, oh my, as we review Overlord and Bohemian Rhapsody. Plus, a new toy-flavored sneak peek takes us to infinity and beyond. That and more on today's episode of The Real Review, so stay tuned.
Welcome to The Real Review.
Welcome to The Real Review, sponsored by Parametric and Lazy Ape Studios, where you get some of the latest happenings, real thoughts, and perspectives in the world of film and television. I am here with Matthew Pikachu. Hey.
You guy.
Everybody,
I'm here with I Choose You, Joel Cunningham.
Heyo, I'm
Yep.
the wiener. That is based upon a trailer that we recently had the opportunity to see and premiered. Well, we didn't premiere, but they premiered. And
I
then
premiered it on my iPhone.
You did,
Yeah.
and then on our Facebook. It's a good plug for our
Yes.
Facebook there for the new Pikachu movie.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu, which I didn't know was actually a game for, I think, the GameCube, right? Or the Wii. Was it the Wii? It might have been the Wii.
Detective Pikachu?
Yeah, there's actually a game called Detective Pikachu.
I did not know that.
It might have been a joke, but I saw it, and the voice of the Pikachu in the game was like really weird too. So it's kind of, which was the one thing about the trailer for the new Pikachu movie that was odd.
It's PG Deadpool.
PG Deadpool, exactly. Because I'm constantly thinking that like suddenly because of the Deadpool stuff, it's just going to be like foul filth and stuff coming from Pikachu. But
kind of funny.
anyway, yeah. So Matt, why don't you give our listeners some ways to get connected before we get into talking about some of the films we're going to be talking about today?
Totally. And we can do that real quick. A number of different ways you can connect with us. Number one way being our website, which is realreviewmedia.com. But then you can connect with all of our social media pages, places there, which is Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Real Review Media, and then also youtube.com/The Real Review to get these videos and other videos, whatever videos, and that fun stuff. Feel free to email us at realreviewmedia@gmail.com as well. So boom.
Perfect.
Yep.
I just want to say as well, real briefly, just apologizing to everyone.
Yes.
We've had a bit of a hiatus going on for reasonable reasons.
Yes.
Which is that, Matt, you took on a new job.
Yes.
And it's made your life craziness right now.
Yes.
So want to apologize for that. We do our best here on the show to put out content on almost a weekly basis,
Right.
if not more often than that. And so we kind of fell behind just with Matt transitioning with work and getting everything done. But the good news is that means we have tons and tons of content to bring to you in
My
this
bad,
episode.
guys.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yes. And then additionally, we don't talk about this very often, but we have had the worst tech issues of the last couple days.
It's been wild, man.
Yeah, and Matt has actually done graciously taking the time to come back in a second time.
Yeah.
So this is our second time recording the episode.
Yes.
So we'll see how this goes.
Tech issues.
Fingers crossed.
It'll work.
Say a
I
little
believe
prayer
it'll
for
work.
us, even though you're listening to this after it's been recorded.
It's okay.
Yes.
I believe it'll
Still
work.
counts. Anyway, so let's get ready to talk about films. The first film we're going to be talking about is a film that, Matthew, you had a chance to check out.
I did.
Little film called Overlord.
Overlord.
Yes.
Let's bring up the synopsis. So a small group of American soldiers find horror behind enemy lines on the eve of D-Day, directed by Julius Avery, written by Billy Ray and Mark L. Smith. And this is under the Bad Robot production, which is J.J. Abrams' production group, which for a long time, people thought this was going to be another Cloverfield movie, but that is not the case, good people. This is starring Jovan Adepo, Wyatt Russell, Matilda Olivier, Pilu Abze. Okay. Anyways, I can't pronounce all your names. I'm sorry. I love all of you guys in this movie. Anyways, so Overlord. This movie is exactly as portrayed in the trailers.
Yeah.
It's an intense war film, World War II, day before D-Day. Soldiers got to do something, and in order for D-Day to be successful, and they find Nazis experimenting on people with, and ultimately there are Nazi zombies, just like in the trailer, and that's it. It is a fun action ride, and it is intense, and it is scary at times. I really enjoyed this movie.
How on a gruesome scale, like scale 1 to 10?
It's pretty gruesome.
Is it?
There's one scene in particular where it gets kind of outlandish at first, and you're like, "What is happening?" And then the way that resolves is very gruesome. And so stay at home, kiddos. Yes.
So they're not holding back any punches.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. What would you say as far there's two weird dichotomies there. You have the historical World War II type film, which is more of an event-based thing.
Right.
And then you have the zombie genre.
Right.
How do you feel like they did blending those two together?
I think it was great, actually. And
Okay.
and one thing that's probably my favorite aspect of this movie is that this movie is almost like could be like titled like the classified missions of World War II, where basically the context of the movie is the small group of people goes against this small compound, and it's all like self-contained and like the general populace doesn't hear about this. This is so basically it's saying that this could have actually happened.
Yeah.
In World War II, amongst other random things that we don't know about. And it still fits in the overall history of everything. And so it's really great in that way. The zombie stuff, they're not really zombies, but they're kind of zombies.
They're horrifically undead, somewhat beings.
So that was pretty cool. All that stuff was really cool. The villain's pretty good. My favorite aspect of this is the war part. They got that part down right from the opening sequence with the planes that you see in the trailer of the explosions. Super intense. And then all the gunfights, the guns are loud and in charge, kind of like what you would hear in a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
And it was overall, it was great. The pacing is wonderful as well. There's not a lot of like slow moments. It's like bam, 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 right through the movie. It's really good. Yeah.
What, as far as acting, as far as casting, there isn't a lot of people that I recognize personally on the project. Which I will say these kind of Bad Robot. Bad Robot. There we go. That's a plug for another company that I know, local guy.
Hey-o.
They tend to often they'll have like one or two really big names, and then they throw in a lot of people that are kind of like lesser known.
Right.
How do you feel like they did with that?
I felt like they did really well. Most of these people are relatively unknown.
Yeah.
With the exception of one of the people. I actually really do. I thought the lead, Giovanna Depo, I think it was incredible as like a conflicted, integrity-filled like soldier. And then Wyatt Russell, who I didn't know until right beforehand, is the son of Kurt Russell.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he is fantastic. And I was reminded of that too because he also played in actually a really good episode of Black Mirror that I enjoyed where he's like a game tester. And that whole thing that transpires with him is so good. His intensity.
Yeah.
And
that was a crazy episode.
There are times.
There's a lot of them on Black Mirror.
Right. There are times in this movie where you look at his eyes, you're like, dang, that is Kurt Russell. Like it looks like him. And he's so good. His intensity in some of the smaller moments. And it was just incredible. Across the board, everybody was really, really great. There wasn't a time where I was like, that guy's a weak link. Everybody did a really solid job.
Yeah.
Very
do you
impressed.
think they set this up for kind of ongoing? Like, are they trying to do a world building thing, or is this more of just a?
It's self-contained.
Okay.
At the same time, I could see them doing like another Overlord film, like a sequel. It could just be something that happened during World War II.
Straight to Netflix.
No, hopefully
they've
not.
done with the...
No, that didn't work with that Paradox movie.
Yeah.
But the they could just be like, hey, well, here's another story you didn't know about that happened during World War II. That kind of a thing. I could easily see that happening.
Yeah.
It was good. There's not a lot I have to say that are negatives. It wasn't like an amazing movie to where it's going to get like Oscar nominations, but one of the more enjoyable movies I've seen over the year. I'm going to actually rate this thing. I'm going to give it a 90.
No, wow, 90 is pretty high.
I really enjoyed it.
That's actually surprising.
I want to see it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really came across to me as like a cheesy popcorn horror flick type thing. So to know that it's hitting that high level.
It's definitely a popcorn movie, but like I had just a fun time watching it.
The experience you had.
Those fun movie-going experiences are kind of rare these days, So
well, I would say this, and this will kind of be the last thing, we'll move on, but Nazi zombies are kind of like, they've been culturally popular in some ways, but I kind of personally felt like they'd waned a little bit. I mean, they'd been featured in a few video games, probably most recently Call of Duty with Nazi zombies in the game, and then they had a couple movies I saw on Sci-Fi Channel, Sci-Fi Channel.
Yep.
So it was surprising
that
they were going to do this at this point. And I was like, well, there goes Hollywood again, trying to go with the curve that's like super outdated already. But that's cool.
Yeah, it's really good. I enjoyed it.
I'll try and check it out.
Bam.
Cool. Well, then we will move on to our next film, which I'm going to take this one for now.
Do it.
But we'll both talk about it.
Yep.
This is a film called Bohemian Rhapsody. Hey-o. The synopsis for this: a chronicle of the years leading up to Queen's legendary appearance at the Live Aid 1985 concert, the year I was born, Matt. The year I was born. It's great.
1995.
It's weird. It's weird that they're chronicling stuff that is from my birth year now. It's very odd to me. It's directed by Bryan Singer, and it stars pretty good cast. Rami Malek, Freddie Mercury, Lucy Boynton. I don't know if it's Boynton,
Yep.
Mary Austin.
Sounds great.
Gwilym Lee.
Yep.
Brian May.
Absolutely.
Ben Hardy, Roger Taylor.
Totally.
Aidan Gillen, John
Totally
Reed.
got it.
It's not gonna get annoying. Mike Myers made a surprise resurgence as Ray Foster.
It's actually very meta appearance.
Yeah, because he was kind of a humorous role in the film,
Yeah.
and he's, that's where he's come from, his bread and butter. But he's been gone. I feel like he's maybe trying to make a little bit of a comeback.
He's
and stuff.
dipping his toe in that
dipping
water.
his toe in the water and see
Yeah.
what people. So this was kind of nice for him, I think, because it was a humorous role, but it wasn't like overly humorous. It was
And
more
he
just
wasn't 100%
situational
recognizable either.
No, they did
Yeah.
a pretty extensive job on the makeup.
Yeah.
I will say one thing about this film just at the get-go. The hair and makeup stuff was just okay to me.
Okay.
There was definitely some parts with
Rami.
where it was like, okay, that's definitely fake teeth. Like I can, they were a little too buck-toothy.
Were they?
A little bit of times, and some of it was just like, okay, this is just very. I don't know. It didn't
Sure.
blend in. Didn't feel like it felt like they were trying to show. Look at these things. Look at these outfits. Look at
Right.
these.
Look at his teeth.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
people are going to be out there and be like, it's Queen. It's
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury. Of course, he's going to be flamboyant like that.
Right.
But I don't know. It just felt overly fake.
Oh.
Less than flamboyant. It felt fake.
Okay. I got that. I get some of that.
The story itself, the film itself, I really enjoyed. I think that there were some elements from it that were different than what I was kind of hoping would have been there.
Mm-hmm.
I love me a biopic. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
I love going into film and seeing the story of a person kind of overcoming or
Yeah.
failing, and growing through it, or having horrible things unfortunately happen to them, but
Yeah,
learning from
yeah.
it. I love those types of films. And this turned out to be a biopic, but it was like, it almost felt like 60% biopic, or almost like 50-50. It was like 50% biopic, 50% Queen music.
Right.
It was like a performance movie with elements of Freddie Mercury's story throughout.
And that's where a lot of my problems lie with the movie, basically.
Yeah, so why don't you give your thoughts?
So first of all, overall, I liked it. It was fine. I didn't think it was great, but I didn't think it was bad either. It was slightly better than mediocre.
Yeah.
Because I thought there was a good amount of enjoyment to be had. I thought all the music stuff was awesome.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part. Just hearing all the music again in the theater is a really, really cool experience. And then
I was singing along.
all
not
the
gonna lie.
elements
bit.
where they're like recording the music or coming up with the songs, all that stuff is great. And the band's interacting, especially when they're recording Bohemian Rhapsody, at the farm, and just kind of everything that they have. All that stuff is really, really awesome. I loved every moment of that. I feel like the title Bohemian Rhapsody is misleading because that's not really what the movie's about.
Yeah.
It's more, it could have been called Freddie Mercury,
Yeah.
or something like that,
Yeah.
because it's more about him and his journey.
Yeah.
That's the majority of it. All that stuff, though, I felt like was a little melodramatic at times.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I remember kind of giggling to myself when he's looking sad at one point, and like this like soft music comes into the. I was like,
Yeah.
what? That's like a Lifetime movie. I
Yeah,
was
his
like,
buck teeth probably didn't help
it
with the
felt weird.
melodrama.
It
Yeah,
felt
'cause
really
it's kinda
weird
like,
to me.
Oh, I'm sad, and his teeth are taken out.
it didn't. Yeah, it just didn't. It didn't vibe for me. It
Yeah.
did for a lot of people. I know a lot of people that love this movie.
Yeah, well, don't want to interrupt too much.
Yeah.
Keep your thought, but it was directed by Bryan Singer, and I've had a very hit or miss experience with Bryan Singer.
Sure.
Some great stuff, some awful. And the one thing I will say about him is he does good action.
Yeah.
But I've never seen him do very well with a bio. This is, I think, his first biopic. I've
Okay.
never seen him do well with really good dramatic tension.
He also wasn't on the
in moments.
project the whole time either.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But his stuff tends to be a bit melodramatic at times. I remember some of the scenes from some of the X-Men movies and stuff. And there's definitely moments of that. I mean, one of the scenes that stands out, spoiler warning a little bit, but like, the scene with the lamp
Yeah.
where he's standing in the window just like staring up
Yeah.
and the soft music is playing. And
Yeah.
he's like clicking the lamp on it. And it's like, okay, like I get it, you know.
Yeah. I felt like that way just with a lot of stuff, and I was conflicted because I loved all the music stuff, but didn't feel like the drama really rose to that same height.
Yeah.
I did get the chills at the very end at the Live Aid performance.
Yeah.
Very, very cool stuff. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually went back and rewatched the live thing. It was definitely pared down from the whole actual event, but it was actually really, really cool to see.
It felt bloated a bit to me.
Right.
I think that's the word. Like a few people asked me my opinion. That's the word I said to them is like bloated.
Yeah.
I think it was good stuff that was in there, but it definitely felt like they spent most of their time, a huge chunk of their time, literally just performing the songs.
Right.
I mean, there was almost an entire Live Aid concert in the film.
I love that.
You know, which was great.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm there to see Queen's story. Yeah. I'm not there just to see the music. I love the music. I enjoy it. You could have played it throughout the film, and I would have enjoyed every second of it. And like I said, I was singing along. But I mean, there were scenes like when he's teaching them how to do the like "We Will Rock You" stomp thing. I'm like, I didn't need that.
I like that part.
Yeah,
okay.
You know?
Okay.
I'm like, just show me some more like tension. Show me the reasons.
I'm a musician, so I think maybe that's why I'm like, I like all the studio stuff.
Yeah. Lastly, I mean, I know that they did this because they had to tell a specific story, but there's so much more to Queen's story. There's so much more that they changed. They altered things to look a certain way. I mean, even how the band formed, the fact that when they were growing and becoming as successful as they were, you know, Freddie Mercury wasn't the only one to leave at times and go to his own solo albums.
Right.
They were all doing their own content at times and mixing and doing different stuff. And there was constant tension from different people in different places. Yeah. And it really felt like they were trying to make it much more about Freddie Mercury's story. And I just kind of wish there would have been more of that.
Yeah.
More of the tension from the characters overall versus like Freddie Mercury versus everybody, because we're just trying to talk about how Freddie Mercury is. That would have made it more interesting to me.
Right. Okay.
I think. I don't know why. I mean, Walk the Line was pretty much a story about Johnny Cash with some additional elements of other side characters. Yeah, in June. But that felt great doing that. But this one just felt like, I think because of all the music that was included, it just felt a little bit like I want more of the stories of the people and the characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So overall, I liked the film though. I liked it pretty much maybe a little bit more than you. What are you going to rate this one?
I'm going to give it a 79.
Okay. Yep. I'm actually giving it a higher. Like I said, I'm going to give it an 83.
Oh, right.
So it's not going to be the best movie by far of the year for me, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and I think it's something that you can go and watch, and you know, there's some adult content there minorly with like, you know, sex and stuff, but other than that, it's a pretty good film for most ages.
Sweet.
Most Asian. Yeah. I can't get that out. Okay, so lastly, I just want to briefly mention an opportunity that I had to find out about, not necessarily engage in.
So you heard a pretty cool thing, huh?
Yeah, so a friend of mine,
had
the opportunity to go see a sneak preview.
Ooh,
yes.
Those are fun. Remember, that's good stuff.
Hopefully you've had a chance to do one. We've done one before,
we've
doing
done
Incredibles
one before,
too, and hopefully you guys have. And you know, there's a non-disclosure agreement that they sign. So this friend of mine said that, well, if I tell you about the film, then it's not really you're not breaking it because you know you didn't sign it. So I'm going to explain the input and the ideas and thoughts that he got, not me.
Perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
Joel.
So it was a film, and I'm not necessarily going to disclose the name of the film,
right?
But I would say it's within the Disney Pixar genre of films. There might be some toy flavor.
Okay, toy flavor.
Yeah, which I don't know if that helps.
They talk to each other.
They talk to each other. There's like it beyond type things.
Oh, Infinity and Beyond
type stuff going on. Yeah.
I
so
totally got that.
So the film itself, what I could say is the interesting thing was when we went and saw Incredibles 2 and it turned out to be that for the sneak preview, I was a bit concerned because I was like, I was less concerned because I'm like, this is a world that has so much left to explain and talk about. Incredibles 2 had one film, and I want to know what's happening. This genre of films, I'm not saying what it is, you know, if it happens to be a toy-related film.
Or like the fourth in a series.
A fourth in a series, maybe. It just kind of like there's been so many before, and there's been so many things that have happened, and it feels like the story's been told.
Yeah.
So
it did.
There were some concerns potentially there for this person
that
saw it potentially.
Yeah.
That the film itself might be like pointless.
Or redundant.
Unnecessary, which is what you get with a lot of sequels. But that really turned out not to be the case.
Really?
Yeah, for this person.
Okay.
There was a side to the story, I guess, for them that had never been told once or at all, and it kind of had been briefly tiptoed into with some of the characters that just kind of up and disappeared.
Okay, I gotcha.
And that was an element that they'd always kind of wondered, like, well, why, how, if, when, where. And so that really makes an appearance back in here. And it plays a significant, but
awesome.
interesting, fun role. And then additionally, the whole idea, since it's toy flavored and, stuff, like, where do those toys come from?
Yeah.
Might be a part of it.
Yeah.
And that it kind of delved into that.
I'm pretty sure I saw a teaser for this so-called film, and
maybe, I don't know. Can't talk about it.
Yeah. Anyways, it looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, but surprisingly touching. Once again,
so
potentially, if
they were thinking,
I'm hearing right,
they told you it's surprisingly touching and a worthwhile entry into the franchise.
Yeah, worthwhile. Felt better than probably Incredibles 2 to them, which was pretty amazing. So,
wow, that is pretty. It's incredible.
It's incredible, yeah. Some good humor, some great stuff. The story might change, obviously, since sneak previews tend to do that, but I think worthwhile, and I would say that it's definitely going to be one of the better ones of the year.
Oh, so exciting.
For them.
For them, yeah.
Not for me.
Absolutely, for sure. It makes total sense.
Not me at all, Matt.
Yep, exactly.
I don't know where this bracelet came from.
Yeah.
So
you just keep bracelets on whenever.
Spinning the bracelet around. Yeah. Anyway, so I think as just like a brief, what they gave it as a review, kind of as like a rating, like about a 9,
in its current state.
In its current state, about 93.
Heyo.
So yeah,
that's huge, dude.
That is huge for them.
Wow,
because they don't give reviews like that very often.
They don't do reviews just flippantly.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
very cool.
So that's all for now.
Amazing.
We're gonna go ahead and wrap things up on the podcast. Some reminders of ways to get connected. RealReviewMedia.com is our website. We have Facebook.com/RealReviewMedia. We'd love to get connected on that.
Yeah.
And then Instagram and Twitter, both @RealReviewMedia. We'd love to hear your thoughts and perspectives, inputs on any of these movies, and maybe if you saw a sneak preview that's toy flavored, fourth in a series or something, or if you had thoughts on a film like that, send them over, whatever your thoughts are. RealReviewMedia@gmail.com.
Cool.
So that's
like
it,
that.
Matt. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, it's been real.
It's been real.